major investment in my future and be paid for it and be a year closer to my second contract in the NFL that God willing he gets to, or rehab in Tuscaloosa for free for a team that knows I probably never play for them again and does not have a true vested interest in what happens to me long term. Now, maybe you would like to think they care, but not the way a team that spends a top 10 pick on a guy is going to care. So, of course, he should turn pro. Of course he should have turned pro, and if the NFLPA would and the NFL would make the rules more fair to where you don't have to stay 3 years of college, he could have turned pro a year ago, been in contention for the #1 pick a year ago, and if he does suffer this injury, at least he suffers it on the clock, so to speak, but that's a different discussion. I also think he's making the right decision because I still think he goes in the top 10. I think Miami would be crazy for passing on him at number 5. Miami, we all thought, was going to be a 1 or 2 win, if not 0 win team this year, have the #1 pick, and pick Tua. And then a number of things happened. Joe Burrow's stock went like this. Tua got dinged, and Miami won a bunch of games down the stretch. They won 5 games in there since November 1st, and so it's like, oh, did they play too well to execute their plan? Well, not if you can draft Tua, have a year where he doesn't have to play. Fitzpatrick and Rosen can compete for that spot. Between the two of them, you have $10 million allocated to the quarterback, and you won't be great again, so you can have another year with a high draft pick while Tua recovers, and then Tua gets going after his essential NFL redshirt season. So if I'm Miami, I take him at number 5, injury risks bedamned, and because of that, I think, of course, Tua made the right call.
I 100% agree. He definitely made the right call. When you look at just solely collegiate sport, he doesn't get paid. He runs all the risk. He's the best player in their program.
Yep.
I'm on the field, and if I get hurt, my future is in jeopardy, which we have now seen. His future could be in jeopardy. Now, is he a top 10 pick? I still believe he's a top 10 pick. He's definitely made the right decision to leave college football to get in a better situation. Regardless of where he ends up, he's going to be fine. And any team that grabs him is going to be fine as well. This is why you get guys like this and you take a chance, because in today's game, a mobile quarterback that can throw outside the pocket, that is accurate outside the pocket, that has great IQ and can continue to excel and learn and gravitate in the right direction, you got to take a risk on that, regardless all the injuries.
So it's not a regardless of all injuries. It's not a bedamned injuries. They're legit injuries. It's not like he has a broken bone that's going to heal. It's a hip injury, which could lead to many more problems along that kinetic chain in the leg. It's the knee. It's the ankle. You're not worried that those injuries, he's been a little injury prone in this last year, could creep up?
It's not that I'm not worried. It's that there's only 15 people in the world that can do this at a high level, and he could be one of them. So you take the risk.
You have to.
He is the most efficient quarterback in the history of college football, and he did it in the SEC. He has an 8-to-1 touchdown interception ratio in his career and averages 11 yards per pass on 70% completions. In the SEC, he came into the national championship game his rookie year at halftime and executed a comeback.
Yes.
I mean, he checks a, yes, it may be his career never gets off the ground. But same with quarterbacks who are totally healthy who go in the top 10 every single year. Like you draft on speculation in this league so often because there aren't enough good guys at this spot. You know he's good enough. To my eye, you know if he's healthy, he is a franchise quarterback in this league. So I'd rather buy the injured talent than the totally healthy. And to me, Tua's, yeah, it's a significant injury, and it's a scary injury. And that's probably why Joe Burrow's going to go ahead of him. Because if they're both healthy, he's better than Joe Burrow. He has more upside than Joe Burrow. And so it's going to cost him a few draft slots and a few $1 million. But no chance he falls out of the first round. I'd be shocked if he falls out of the top 10.
Everything you're saying is fact. Jenna, if it was any other position, yes, the injuries, and they had this injury list, My hands are off.
Right.
I'm checking my. Nope, I can't take that chance. But because it is the quarterback position,
and the position has been protected more and more.
And the position has been protected,
yeah.
And you don't get elite play from quarterbacks like you get at skill positions. It's just hard to find.
Yeah, I don't like playing devil's advocate. I agree with you guys. I was just trying to do it for like 10 seconds, and now I'm back on track. Coming up, let's take a break. Is Tom Brady actually a detriment to the Patriots? That is next on First Things First. Back here at Brian Westbrook, talking about the Dallas Cowboys. So after just one day, Brian, their head coaching search is over. Cowboys agreeing to a 5-year deal with Mike McCarthy, who spent 13 seasons as Green Bay's head coach, made the playoffs 9 times, including a win in Super Bowl 45. Dallas certainly needs a strong voice in that locker room after woefully underachieving this year, finishing the year at 8-8. Greg, you played for McCarthy for 7 years. We're going to talk to you in a second, but Brian, let's start with you. Did the Dallas Cowboys get this one right?
I think they absolutely got it right. And when you think about it, you could have went with the sexy hire, the splash guy, a college coach, but
you don't think Mike's sexy?
Well, no, I don't.
Sorry,
they could have went a different direction. And you listen, this is what happens when college coaches come to the NFL. Steve Spurrier and Chip Kelly. They come into an organization, a situation where they can't control the same way that they control the college locker room. And Chip Kelly goes and gets rid of Deshaun Jackson and LaShawn McCoy, 2 guys in Philadelphia that they've been trying to replace ever since they left. And so you go get in Dallas a safe candidate, a guy that's been around the locker room, that's detail-oriented, that's leadership. He understands all the things, the dynamics of a locker room. And most importantly, he's going to be able to develop Dak. He's going to make Dak a much better quarterback this year than he was the last years. And so that's probably the most important thing. When I look at Mike McCarthy and listen to his story, I understand that he flamed out. He got a little stale in Green Bay. But I also understand for the last year, he's been studying his craft. He's been studying the NFL. He's understanding that these things work for me in Green Bay and these other things did not work. And now I have to get better at those things. He's becoming more analytical. And those are all great things for the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, they don't need a guy that's going to be the rah-rah guy. They don't need a guy that's going to say, you know, go out there and win it for me. They need a guy that's going to be organized, going to be disciplined, that's going to get them going in the right direction. That's Mike McCarthy, and he's safe. If you're Jerry Jones, this is a great pick, and it's not going to make that splash, but it's going to be safe, and that's what you need at this point.
Man, the only thing I don't like is the word safe, because I don't think McCarthy is just a safe pick. It makes it seem like, well, we didn't want to make a mistake. No, this is a great hire. It's not just a safe pick. This is the right hire because of what he's proven with his resume as a head coach in this game, in this league. You mentioned it. The college coaches come in and they deal with a different level of maturity when it comes to men and monetary. That's a huge factor. You got guys who are making arguably more money than you are, and you have to be able to control that environment and make sure you have a voice that they will listen to. McCarthy brings all of those things, let alone his ability to impact your face of your franchise, which is your quarterback. In today's game, what is making the game go? It's the quarterback. And the relationship that the quarterback has with the head coach, a la offensive coordinator, is huge. They will have a phenomenal relationship. Why? Because of all of what we talked about of reasons why Green Bay fired Mike McCarthy. The inability to have that great relationship later on in the career of Aaron Rodgers to continue his career as the head coach in Green Bay. He won't let that happen again. He understands anytime you've been removed from a situation, you reflect, and then you go back into it with a greater understanding.
But, Nick, doesn't the relationship between Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys have to do with the relationship between Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones? Won't one determine the other? Well,
I think McCarthy takes the job knowing full well who Jerry Jones is. And according to the people who covered McCarthy in Green Bay, one of the things he was frustrated with was there was not an owner or even a front-facing GM that would answer for mistakes, answer for draft picks, answer for a lack of free agency moves alongside McCarthy. So he, while maybe early on got all the credit, later on when they didn't have as much success, got all the blame.